Hey, welcome everybody. It's Reed Schwartz. I'm your host for the Time Hack Agent podcast, where we're going to talk about how you can use different things to make your business be more efficient and buy back your time using artificial intelligence, virtual assistants, and proven systems to make your business more effective and let you enjoy more of your time. Today, we are going to be interviewing Anthony, and Anthony is here. He is a clarity consultant. So, Anthony, would you introduce yourself and kind of give me a little background of what a clarity consultant is? And welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Amazing show, Reed. I love what you're doing. So quickly, I am a clarity consultant. I was a firefighter and a flooring contractor in my previous businesses and careers. In organizing my previous business, I pretty much developed the clarity consultant position. Life can be chaotic. Business can be chaotic. There are a lot of entrepreneurs that are overwhelmed. So as a clarity consultant, I offer clarity sessions. It's a conversation. I meet people where they are, wherever you are in your business and wherever you're trying to go in the next season or in the next level, just being able to listen to what's already in place, provide a 90-day action plan. And then this is the part where it gets really good. I developed positions for that specific need. And then I create SOPs so I can hand off to a virtual assistant for that person to say, now you have somebody that can implement this. So I bring some clarity to a business owner or entrepreneur just to get them building momentum and get them headed in the right path.
Well, that sounds fantastic. I mean, I know there is a lot of need for that because being an entrepreneur isn't always people think it is. A lot of people will go into it with their eyes not wide open. Speak for myself. I actually used to own a restaurant, long story short, but I built some mobile wood-fired pizza trailers, and we did that as a family as a little side gig for a while, and then we decided to jump into a restaurant. I thought I knew a lot. Yeah, I'll tell you what, there's a lot more to it, and I could have used some clarity, actually. But yeah, business is always a constant learning experience, and that's awesome what you're providing. What types of businesses particularly? You have a type of business you specialize in, or?
I actually get that question a lot. People say, like, what's the specific industry? And there really isn't a specific industry. It's entrepreneurs, it's business owners from the small business to the largest scale. All of us can utilize. So it's being able to just be present with someone to say, hey, you might see me as a small business, but I can still provide clarity to your business. Right now, I'm working with a security company, which I'm just specializing in this specific company because I offer marketing services for them. But anybody can book a clarity session. Anybody can get clarity and say, hey, look, you take the plan and go implement the plan. I don't have to hold your hand. I can offer you some assistance in a virtual assistant, but just to be able to think clearly, it really goes to all business owners.
With the virtual assistant side of it. So what type of virtual assistants do you find job title type position that you place most often? Social media?
So I just recently developed a content strategy. That's not like a new position, but what I do is with that title is specific to the business owner. So this particular client was trying to get unison across their social media platforms. So after our clarity session, I said, well, it sounds like you need somebody to have strategies and to be able to implement those into your content instead of just creating, hey, you just need somebody to produce content. Like, no, you need someone that can actually have a strategy to make things seamless across the board. So it's being able to spend that time to say, well, we'll get the title, but then we make these actions very specific to what they need.
Right. And that's my personal experience. That's one of my first virtual assistants was a title social media manager, but she literally did that, is built out the whole system of content, scheduling, what media it goes on, what formats, what the timing is, put themes to things, which really Well, I'm very capable and have done a lot of social media. I mean, the reason I hired her was because I was up at 11 o'clock at night editing videos, but
Right,
it was much
right.
more hit and miss. And I think that's a problem a lot of people have, is that not conceptualizing that there needs to be a strategy to that social media for your particular business to attract your target audience. You not just want to be in front of everybody. And do you use AI in your business or recommend that to people as part of your?
Absolutely. I tell people nowadays, I don't think it's possible to do business without a virtual assistant and AI. Like I don't see how how you can manage in the market without a virtual assistant and with AI.
Any particular AI tricks or specific apps? I mean, I think everybody uses ChatGPT, but there's a ton of other stuff out there.
So with providing marketing, I'm using a lot of different softwares. I use Google Flow, Google VO3 for video production. I'm heavy on ChatGPT because I'm just very fluent with it. One thing, it's not really a trick, but it's something I always encourage people to do is take their prompts a step further. Many people will get great ideas, but they won't go to the step of tell it to find you a plan to implement it. Like break it down to where you yourself, or you can pass this task off to somebody else, but break this great idea down into something that can be implemented. So it's valuable to you. I use it all the time when I'm just moving throughout my day and I got too much on my mind, too many ideas. I will brainstorm my schedule and tell it to prioritize my day. And then I can just move forward. So I use AI for a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff.
What do you use the AI for in, or as far, or I mean, a virtual assistant in your business, as far as helping people, or if you're just getting started with having a virtual assistant in your business?
So I'm in the process hiring first virtual assistant for this new company, but I'm also building the positions and SOPs for my next few hires. But right now, because I'm doing video production, editing, and color grading and storytelling is a huge task of mine. But
Mhm.
also being able to plan out and schedule that content, not just for myself, but also for my clients, is that first piece, puzzle piece that I'll be filling in for my company.
Oh yeah, I think you'll be thrilled at what a difference that could make. Love that I literally shoot the video, upload it to Dropbox, and send a message in Slack with a link and say, "There you go."
Right,
Hannah,
right,
my social media manager, I mean, she's a very, like I said, I've done video for many, many years, and she is faster and more creative than I am. So that saves me
right,
time, it saves me brain power because I'm always trying to come up with something cool. And I just did a video about, it's October, so I did a video about stuff for your house as we're coming into Halloween, and she put in, just the little effects, just little things that I wouldn't have thought of. I'm
right,
just,
right. Yeah,
I'm a effective at video editing. I'm not the most creative guy in the room. She's super. She has youth on her side too, so
right.
so that helps a lot. That helps a
And
lot.
that's, I mean, for my plan, that kind of helps with being able to have somebody mimic my style. I have a very specific editing style. So
Mhm.
being able to break that down and actually turn into a system and say, hey, look, when I send clips, this is how we tell the story.
So are you going to have, I know I've heard of other people doing it, I have not done it myself. I've literally have the VA for like a week, literally just be on Zoom and watch you work. You thought about that?
Actually, you know what? I didn't really think about that only because just bringing structure to myself, I always have to create a plan. And even
Uh-huh.
though if we do that, we gotta pass it off to them. But that's a really good option to say, "Hey, look, you can just watch me edit. We'll go through the workflow, and then you can catch on to how I move."
Yeah, because I mean, I know I've talked to other real estate agents that have done it with literally just going through their day. Cost of having a virtual assistant is so reasonable that, where, normally you would think, oh my goodness, I can't pay somebody to just watch me work for a week. But it is, I mean, when I hired my first virtual assistant, I originally hired him part-time. That lasted about 2 days. In 2 days, I realized, well, if I'm only paying him part-time, he's going to be looking for work the other time and I'm going to need him full time. And then I have all these things I need him to learn how I do things. So yeah, it was 2 days, and I was like, never mind, you're full time. And we never look back from there. It's
And that's really why I focus on creating those SOPs. It's like being able to create that for the customer and for myself is beneficial because now you have the information to say it'll cut down on that time that you have to spend.
absolutely. Yeah, SOPs are amazing. I mean, that's always building new ones, and then I've actually got my VAs now where they build them. I just will record for smaller tasks. I will literally just record a Loom video, send it to them, and say, "Here, watch this. Build out the SOP. Send it to me to go over, and then I'll review it, make sure make any corrections or whatever." But I just talk through the task that I'm doing, and it's a very effective way. And then they're actually doing most of the actual time consuming part. So, what would you say are the top, say, 3 pain points that most people have that they need a VA to take off their plate? We'll say outside of social media, because that seems to be the big one for a lot of people. But are there other areas that you can think of that maybe those really big things that once you give them some clarity, they realize, holy smokes, I need to not be doing this. Somebody else should be doing this.
Follow-ups is really huge for a lot of businesses. Following up with context is a task or position that we can't really not have. And if you're too overwhelmed to follow it with context, it can hurt your business. So follow-ups is a task that I would say is really huge and a pain point for a lot of businesses. Because even with the social media, even with email marketing, somebody has to manage these things unless you're utilizing AI. But following up is something that I see a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah, I mean, in real estate, that's what the term is, that all the money's in the follow up, because you get lots of people that say, "Hey, I'm interested in something," but if you don't follow up with them and actually make the phone calls, send the emails, send the text messages, it doesn't ring the register. And bottom line is, if you don't close the deal, you don't get paid. The rest of it's a moot point. That's why
Right,
I like.
right, and that's a huge task that I think a huge part that I don't think people realize is the follow-up could cost you 50,000, 100,000.
Oh, easily. And I think AI's got its place, but there's still having a human touch in there is really important.
Absolutely.
Question for you. I'm asking everybody, do you have a specific book that you would recommend people read that would, shown you the light, shown you the way, so what get to where you are?
Man, I have a couple of books. I actually just released a book, but if I had to list one, Atomic Habits is one high on the list. Being able to see small growth and value small growth is something that has been really, really impactful to me. I've always seen the big picture and I can work towards the big picture and not really value those small steps to get there. But after reading Atomic Habits, it was just like, oh, I'll gain more ground by 1% a day.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a phenomenal book. That's when I listened to that in audiobook several years ago and just did not get as much out of it. And then I sat down and read it while listening to it. That's my latest, the last several months. I forgot where I picked that up, and I'm not sure if it was actually, like, maybe they were just trying to convince me to buy 2 copies of their books. Because now I buy the print copy and I buy the audiobook, and I sit down. I do, that's part of my morning process every day, is sit down and read for 20 minutes, and that's what I do with the audiobook and reading and highlighting. Books are it's like a coloring book. It's full of all my pen marks and highlighter marks.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely got the hard copy of Atomic Habits. I knew I didn't want the audiobook.
I'm a fan of real books. I have shelves and shelves of books.
Right,
And I've read most
right.
of them. They're not just there for eye candy. And then you said you just released a book?
I did. Find clarity and build momentum. It's on Amazon. You can purchase it. It is a part of. It's really my story as going from a firefighter to a contractor, leaving a contractor, becoming a clarity consultant, and that story of how the birth of my twins really shifted something in my life. So it's an interesting read. I did it for creators, people that think like me, that can be all over the place. So I simplified it and made it a easy read. It has prompts in it for people to follow on with action steps and just utilize faith and get to that place that they're trying to get to.
I love it. I love it. So just curious, I've been playing around with the idea of writing a book, and I've actually talked to company that helps you write books, and I have a couple of friends that have written books. So just what was your process? Was this a all do it yourself thing, or did you go through a consultant or something like that?
So this particular book, I'm the type of person that I have to see the thing done, convince myself that it's possible, and then I start getting very, very detailed into doing it. So this is the second book that I published on Amazon. Process wise, I sat down and it's a part of marketing that I recommend to other people along with podcasts. But I had a story, I have a message, and I'm always going back and forth with ChatGPT. So I'm always utilizing, I'm always going back and forth and refining. And this was one of those things like, you're going to have to do this as you continue to build these businesses and build these relationships with clients. It's easier to hand somebody a book and let them get a part of the experience than to try to go and do it on social media through posting stories. So it was me taking that time and looking inward and saying, I'm gonna go through this process, utilize AI to interview me, and I'm going to give it the information, and then I'm going to start compiling.
Yeah, yeah, I've thought about that. And, I've even been to a couple seminars. I think a book is also like the best business card ever.
Right, right.
I was at a real estate conference couple months ago, actually as working with virtual assistants, helping people with that. We went down and had a booth at the conference. Actually, I was giving away that Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. I realized I need my own book. I need my
Yeah,
own
yeah.
book with my own name on it and telling my story of how I got to where I am. I need more clarity in my life so that I can have the time to do that.
Right,
But currently
right.
my plate's a little full, so that's not going to be, I have my clarities on other things right now, but I love it that you broke down and did
What I
that.
will say is it made me slow down. So I had to force myself to do it over time, because once I started writing, I was like, oh, this is good. I want to keep going. And because I read Atomic Habits, it was just like, value the small growth. So I had to do it over time, which slowed me down. But what I will say is, with this being the second one, my first one was a journal, but the second one, it's going to start something in you that is going to be like, oh, I can see my books advancing. I can see the quality of them building, and I can see my catalog spreading. So I would encourage you to start the first one. Even if you don't get it, just start writing a piece of it.
One of my other goals is working on, getting away from this short term. With our phones, we're stuck. We don't seem to have the ability as much to do slow work, do long term projects, and I miss that. So I'm actively. I mean, I do a lot of things with. I don't keep my phone in my room. I don't. I do a lot of things to do that. But that's one of those things. Yeah, sitting down writing would be a good one to work on that.
And like I said, just compartmentalize it. Even today, you might come up with a title. Tomorrow, you might come up with the outline. Like, okay, the book is formed. Even if I don't have the words yet, I know what it's going to be called.
Yeah, my problem is with my ADHD is that I'll have 15 books outlined. And
Yeah, and
I may be calling you for some clarity.
that's why I say that's where the clarity session comes in, because I'm the same way, and that's why I said this book was for those creative minds, because I can be the same way. I will have a list of names, and I have to train myself to say, pick one. This is good. You like it. You like it for a reason. Move on this one. Those other ones don't have to become bad ideas. They're just
Right.
not right now.
Well, it's one of my favorite sayings, and mostly one of my wife's favorite sayings. Is I think it came from Tom Ferry, but it was a better done than perfect. And
Yeah.
it's been out there. And I used to always be striving for perfect, and then, you're in that process, you never get it done. So I'm doing much better at better done than perfect, and that also works with working with virtual assistants. I used to be the person that wanted to control everything, so being able to hand it over, let somebody else do it, and maybe they're not going to do it exactly the way I would do it, but it's better done than perfect. I mean, I have an email
Absolutely.
newsletter I've been doing for years. And sometimes it was done weekly, sometimes it was done monthly, and sometimes it was done quarterly. Since I hired my executive assistant, it's come out every Wednesday for the last 3 months, like clockwork. And every once in a while, and I
Come
proof it
on.
every week, but every once in a while I look, I go, man, I wouldn't have written that way. I'm like, yeah, publish it. Be done. It's not factually
Yes, yes.
incorrect. So you shared a book. Do you have a tool that you use that you would recommend to people to take a look at that help them in some manner to grow their business or organize and help them get clarity? Something besides a QR code with your phone number
A
on it. But
tool,
no.
honestly, right, right. Outside of that, it's not a specific tool. If I had to say, ChatGPT would probably be the tool, but any AI system that you can do deep research that allows you to speak to it, just take advantage of the ideas that we have in our head. All of the clarity is really within ourselves. All of the answers are within ourselves. It's just being able to utilize something that can transcribe, something that can summarize and has some knowledge based on your knowledge. So ChatGPT would honestly be that tool if I had to say one, but there are too many AI tools out there to just limit it to ChatGPT. But AI as a whole, I would say just be able to speak to it with clarity and compile things that can be implemented.
Well, Anthony, anything else you'd like to throw into the mix here, or before we wrap this thing up?
As I spend time connecting people with virtual assistants, I think there is a need for people to really understand the importance of leveraging their time. Again, life is busy. There's stuff going on in the business. There's stuff going on outside the business. There's stuff going on in your home. Being able to have somebody to take down the task, whether that is in a virtual assistant or whether that's actually somebody that cleans your home or somebody that watches your kids. I'm a father of 4 daughters. Um, there's always something to do. A part of me leveraging my income is so I can utilize a maid service or if I can utilize childcare, even though I'm physically here in the home, it's necessary for me to be able to step away and take a break and know that my kids are covered. So just being able to get people to understand, leverage your resources so you don't have to use all of your time trying to be responsible for all of the things.
No, that's awesome. All right, Anthony. Well, thank you for coming on the show and look forward to chatting with you some more in the future. And keep working on
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
I I really think that clarity it's fantastic business. It's a fantastic service you're providing to people. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So that's another wrap on this episode of the Time Hack Agent podcast. Here is the thing though. You've just spent the last 20 or so minutes learning how to work smarter and not harder. But knowledge without action is just a form of entertainment. So my challenge to you is, what one task are you going to automate or delegate in the next 7 days? I want to hear about it. Let me know. Send me something. Put a comment down there. Because here's the truth. Time is limited. It's your most valuable asset. You can't buy it back. When it's gone, it's gone. If you want to know what it feels like to grow and have time for strategy and friends and family, go ahead and take your browser right over to timehackva.com, where you can schedule a discover call with our partners, Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants. Sphere Rocket has placed over 10,000 VAs with business owners across the country and around the world. And they will show you how they work and how they can find the right VA for you and your business. So go to timehackva.com and schedule that appointment, and you will not be disappointed. Start buying back some of your time. See what you can do with an extra 10, 20, 30 hours a week with your life and your business and how that can make a difference. All right, don't wait. Visit timehackva.com. So until next time, keep hacking your time, not your sanity.